That's, when we're talking about that, that's not fair communication.
No.
No.
And insulting because you don't have anything else to say, just don't say anything at all.
And men, you cannot talk about sensitive stuff because women are sensitive. We are. You cannot, there are certain things you just can't talk about. Every woman thinks she's fat. Don't say that. Don't be like, that's why you couldn't fit into that dress or them shorts you tried to do. That's why you look like Sexy Bear the other day when you put on the lingerie. Don't do that. Don't do that when you get mad. That's wrong. It's really wrong. And it makes things, you know what, it never goes away. That little comment that you made, even when you guys do it later on, everything, that Sexy Bear comment is right here. And that piece of lingerie that she probably wore, I can guarantee you, you will never see it again.
I would say really the best advice to give somebody is that if you know you've insulted your significant other in a spout of rage and you've done things that you don't really agree with, go back and apologize after it.
That is so easy to do.
If you know you were in the wrong, man and woman, go back and apologize. They may, a woman or a man may never forget what you said, but they will remember as well that you apologize.
And do it before you guys
they ask for an apology.
Do it before you get it in. Nobody wants the afterglow apology like, I'm sorry I said that I hate everything about you, girl.
Because obviously I don't.
You know what she's thinking? Of course you are sorry for that because I just slathered you with sugar juice. Say it before, and not right before. Say it long before. And women, he does not want you rubbing the back of his head, the sweat off the back of his head, talking about, you know, you really don't have a small one. I was messing, I was just mad. Don't. Do it long before. Do it after the fight and he goes out to wash his car so that he won't cause harm to your physical person. Do it then, go outside, you know what? I was out of line and I apologize. And I got upset and I fought unfair.
You know, since we're on this topic, I'm thinking, you've been married for, or you were married for 11 years.
Please get that past
tense. I'm just now learning some of these very obvious differences between men and women. Expound for us.
On marriage?
Just on the differences between men and women and how cohabitating is possible with these massive differences.
Okay. I'll be honest, men and women are crazy. When you say, you crazy, and she, don't be calling me crazy. We're crazy, but the reason why we're crazy is because women have this natural desire to nurture. And when we're nurturing, we feel like we're earning the small things. Your respect, your attention, your affections. When those things don't happen, we literally translate it into, you don't even care. Because that's how, if we stop nurturing you, it's because we don't care anymore. We're not negligent. Women are not negligent.
It's very true that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Time tested. Okay? If you're hungry, you're doing something wrong.
Oh,
right?
Very true.
Am I right?
If you are hungry, you are doing something wrong. So that's
one of the things. Man.
When your woman stops doing the things that she did to show that she cared, it's because she doesn't care at that point, and you need to start doing something different. Communicating is number one. Please talk. I don't care what it takes if you have to get out of the house, because when you cohabitate, talking in the house is really not a fair zone. Everybody's going to go to their comfortable place. So if he's got that big chair in the corner that he sits in and doesn't think about anything, especially not you, when he's in that chair and you guys are talking, he is not there in that room. And if she is sitting on the edge of the bed folding socks, that's a comfort zone while you're having this important conversation. Go for a walk. Go out to a simple dinner. Do something different. Get out of that environment so you can say, hey, we're on fair ground right now and we're going to talk about everything. And I'm a big believer in writing things down before you talk about them. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a nerd, so I write pretty much everything down, but I think it's a good tool. Write it down, and then you guys can talk about it, and you don't have to keep notes while you're clear on what you want to talk about. And again, when things start getting heated, because that's what happens when you're trying to hash things out, things start getting heated, stay fair. If you have to have an agreement between the two of you that says, we are going to argue right now, we're going to fight, but we're always going to be fair. It's a winning situation. It really is. Try it. Just try it.
I agree with you. Something that I've recently been forced to do is Drew's a big talker. He really is. He's a big communicator. I'm not. I like to simmer in the room and be upset and text somebody else what you did that made me mad.
That's my verdict.
All that. But this man comes and says, "Why are you mad?" And I'm trying to clean up and do all of these other stuff and avoid the conversation. But he just follows me around the house until finally I stop running away from him and actually have the conversation and communicate and have the argument, if you want to use those words, that needs to be had.
Does that work for you guys? Or is it a negative thing? Because sometimes I believe in a fair retreat. Sometimes two people have to retreat with dignity and come back to the middle once they're done cooling off. But does that work in your situation?
It works
everybody's
for
different.
me because when I really love somebody, I can be very forgiving. So I take that time to go simmer, do this, that, and the other, get distracted, and then I forget what I'm mad about. And then I go back, everything's great, fun, this and that and the other, and then something else that similar to what I was previously mad about happens again, and I'm mad again.
Okay.
But I never communicated at that first point when I was mad. When it first happened, I ran away from the situation, forgot about it. It happened again, I'm mad again.
So the best thing to do is know yourself and then make the adjustment. If you know you're going to go simmer on it and then it's just going to go away, take the time, stop, confront it, deal with it, and actually resolve it. That's a big one. Know yourself.
Well, what about though cleaning up after a man? When you're cohabitating, what if your significant other likes to get ready for bed in the living room every single night?
Everybody's
and
different.
Every single morning, there's pan on the living room floor.
Everybody's different.
Every single morning.
That's a communication thing. I despise clutter. You won't find it in my space. Every person is different. So if you need to communicate to your significant other, hey, do you mind? And be fair, because they might be a clutterer, and you can't just force people to do anything. If you're going to do that, can you at least kick that to the corner where I can't see it, or it's not in the way? Or say, hey, you know what? I really hate clutter. You know what? Can you keep that in mind? And that way it's not happening all the time, but they're still able to be themselves. You cannot force people to be who you want them to be. Otherwise you'd be dating or married to yourself, and that would get extremely boring or crazy. I cannot imagine being in a relationship with me the way I am. I certainly wouldn't date me, which is another reason why I just, I'll leave it.
I'd take me home for a night, but I wouldn't date.
I would definitely take me home for a night. Maybe a couple nights, because that's kind of a jump-off thing.
Oh, yeah.
If you read into that, we kind of talked about that. For not within the first 5 dates, I know that much anymore. Second date, girl. But that's her own thing.
That's how I know if there's going to be a third.
I love it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up this episode. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching this. I want to thank you, Tatum, for coming and joining me, my very, very, very first webisode, and you shared it with me. Go on to www.bitzznpeaces.blogspot.com, and that's just for now because I did purchase the domain of bitzznpeaces.com, and I will definitely keep you up to date when that website is up and functioning. And that's www.bitzznpeaces.blogspot.com. Check for us on blogradio.com. I will send everybody the phone number to dial in, and I'll let you know when we're doing the broadcast. That way you can be a part of it, you can share, and you can be a caller. Tatum, thank you. I am your host. A lot of it.
I'll be back, guys.
We're going to end this on a positive note, which is how I'll end every single episode. Stay positive, stay healthy, start talking.